Hi everyone and welcome back to Money Experiment PH. For today's video, we will be discussing the newest joiner to the growing list of digital banks in the Philippines, Tonik. Before we deep dive into the app and its functions, what is Tonik? According to Tonik's website, Tonik is the first neobank in the Philippines. Neo meaning new. As a neobank, access to banking products and services is conveniently at the palm of your hands through the Tonik app. Tonik operates on a fully digital platform, which means unlike other brick-and-mortar banks, they are not limited within physical branches. Tonik is supervised by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas or BSP, and your savings is insured by the PDIC or Philippine Deposit Insurance Corporation, meaning Tonik deposits are insured by PDIC up to 500,000 pesos per depositor. Similar to other digital banks, with Tonik you can receive money, send money, save in stashes, or invest in time deposits. They also have a virtual MasterCard, which you may also pay for online purchases. By the way, their physical card will also be available soon as per the app. So in our previous videos on digital banks, we get asked a lot on who are qualified to register as users. So specific for Tonik, according to the website, a qualified person would be any Filipino who is at least 18 years old, has a residence in the Philippines, has a valid email address, has an active Philippine mobile number, and does not classify under the United States FATCA. Now that we know about Tonik, you might be wondering what type of accounts will I get after registration? What are their products and services? What are the interest and charges? Well, we will be discussing all of these shortly. So upon completing your registration, you will get one Tonik account. If you are able to successfully upload your valid government-issued ID during registration, you may open up to 5 stashes, solo or group stashes, and up to 5 time deposits. However, if you skip the ID upload process during registration, you may still open up to 2 solo stashes to your Tonik account. Apart from this, your Tonik account will have 12 months validity and a combined balance limit of 50,000 pesos. So to fully enjoy the features of Tonik, remove the validity period and combined balance limit. Upgrade your account by simply uploading your ID using the Tonik app. Now, what are all these terms? Tonik account, stashes, solo and group, time deposit. So these are basically all the products that Tonik is currently offering. As mentioned earlier, the Tonik account is the account that you get after registration. So this will be the main source of the money you will be putting into your stash or time deposits. This is earning 1%, so if you want a higher interest account, you may opt to put the balance that you have in your Tonik account in a stash or time deposit, which we will be discussing shortly. By the way, for the products solo stash, group stash, and time deposits, the interest rate indicated is actually annual interest rates. So if the term is less than 1 full year, you will get proportional interest rates for those products. So with the Tonik account, you can top up and send money just by clicking the buttons here. There is also a history button for list of transactions within the app. So as you can see here, these are the history of transactions that I've made so far. So for the top up feature currently includes debit card, online top up, which covers GCash, BPI, CoinsPH, and Union Bank. And also for over-the-counter that covers Click, 7-Eleven, Cebuana Luwilier, M. Luwilier, and SM Payment. The maximum amount is also indicated per channel here below. By the way, local bank transfer feature is currently not supported by the app, but the other available top-up covers quite a wide range already, like GCash, which is very common among fintech apps. So for the send money feature, it includes bank transfer via InstaPay, GCash account, other Tonik customers, and over-the-counter partners. So for bank transfer, let's try transferring 50 pesos just to check the list of banks available. So here are the popular banks under this category, and other banks. It looks like it covers a wide range of banks as well, so there won't be any problems transferring out from this account. So for over-the-counter partners, for sending money, there are only 2. That's Cebuana Luwilier and M. Luwilier currently. So let's now go to the different products and services of Tonik. A stash is Tonik's version of savings account within your Tonik account, where you can separate your certain amounts in your savings according to specific saving purposes you have in mind. So if you click this, you can see here that I already have 50 pesos total stash balance. That's because I already made my solo stash prior to recording this video. So when you try to click start a new stash, there's a pre-categorized option for emergency, vacation, tuition, new ride, and game console stash. But you can also make your own according to your preference. So I'll just show you guys the solo stash that I made earlier. So this is it. So my initial deposit was at 50 pesos and the interest rate for this specific solo stash is at 4%. And to see the details of this stash, click manage and stash details. So here you will see the stash ID, the date on which you started it on, the target amount. The target date is optional. And it says here that it is government insured. As I mentioned in the earlier parts of the video, any deposit in the Tonik account is PDIC insured up to 500,000 per depositor. And the interest paid of 4% is paid monthly and early withdrawal is free. So what I like about this feature is that there is no minimum amount and you can save just as much as you can afford. So I mentioned earlier that my initial deposit is at 50 pesos. You will also continue to earn interest after your stash goal is reached or you've passed the target date. You can also invite others to participate in a savings account with the group stash. Simply put, this is like having a coin bank you own and inviting other people to participate in putting money in your coin bank. So let's try to make a group stash. So just click this, start a new stash, open a new stash and choose group stash. You can upload a picture and name your stash. Let's say group 1. Target amount, let's just set it to 50,000 pesos. And leave the target date blank. Since it is required to upload a photo, I'll just upload a random photo for my gallery. Let's use Tonik. Click next and set initial savings. Since I only have 50 pesos in my Tonik account now, let's just input 50 pesos. Next. Agree with the terms and conditions. And so as you can see here, the interest rate is at 4% currently. And the transfer will be from your Tonik account. Create stash. So the group stash is ready. The next step would be for you to invite friends with Tonik accounts to join. If your friends don't have Tonik, send them an invite. They can join your group stash when they download and create a Tonik account. So since I currently do not have any people to invite, I'll just close this notification and just check how a group stash would look like. So I named it group 1, so this is it. Let's check the stash details. So it's similar to the solo stash. You can find the stash ID, the date you started the stash, the targeted amount, the target date, which I left blank. It is government insured still. Interest paid is also paid monthly, and early withdrawal is free. One thing to note here, and also be cautious for people who are interested in using a group stash, is that the person who creates the group stash owns the group and the total fund amount in that stash. Please keep in mind that once you contribute to a group stash, you are transferring the money to the group stash owner. The creator will have the control over the money, and the group stash which includes inviting others to join, closing the stash, and moving money away from it. So make sure to only use this feature with people you trust to handle the group's money well. If you have future plans with your barkada or your family is looking to buy that aesthetic furniture, this savings account may just be for you. So the next feature is time deposit. Time deposit is a form of savings or investment in which you pledge a certain amount of money for a fixed period of time in exchange for a high interest. So in Tonik, you are allowed to open 5 time deposit and you have 5 term options for you to select from. That's 6, 9, 12, 18, and 24 months. The minimum time deposit investment you can make regardless of the period is at 5,000 pesos, and the maximum limit per time deposit is at 500,000 pesos. Also, make sure you have sufficient balance in your Tonik account because the investment in your time deposit will use the available fund in your Tonik account. You don't need to worry if you need to withdraw the money deposited in the time deposit before the maturity period. You will still earn interest from it, but only at 1%. Instead of the interest percentage of the term, say for 6 months, that's 6%. But as an advice, of course, it is best not to use your emergency funds for this type of product. So just to show you, I already made a time deposit earlier. So I named it my time deposit 1, and the payout is 51,512.33. By the way, this is pre-tax. The interest is at 6% because I set this at 6 months, and the interest earned again pre-tax is 1,512.33, and the maturity date is at September 2021. So just click this for information of your time deposit. They show the account number, investment amount. The initial investment that I made for this time deposit is 50,000. Again, the term is at 6 months, so the interest rate is 6%. Interest earned at maturity, it also notes it here. Payout at maturity pre-tax 51,512.33. Adjusted interest rate if early withdrawal 1%, as mentioned earlier. Early withdrawal is free, and withholding tax is at 20%. Maturity date after 6 months, of course, September 20, 2021. Another thing to note and also to be careful about time deposit is the existence of documentary stamp tax when you terminate your time deposit early. So you may ask, what is documentary stamp tax? According to BIR, documentary stamp tax is a tax on documents, instruments, loan agreements, and papers evidencing the acceptance, assignment, sale, or transfer of an obligation, right, or property incident thereto. The percentage is 0.75% over 1 year and fraction of it if the term is less than a year. So you may have questions surrounding documentary stamp tax. First could be, will I be charged documentary stamp tax when I open a time deposit? Tonik will charge documentary tax if a depositor withdraws early after the cooling off period. So your next question might be, what is a cooling off period? If you withdraw early within 5 days, known as the cooling off period of time deposit opening, you can get a full refund of your time deposit, meaning no documentary stamp tax and no interest. But if you withdraw early after the cooling off period, you will earn your Tonik account interest instead of higher time deposit interest, and you will be charged for documentary stamp tax. So how exactly is documentary stamp tax for time deposit calculated? So for time deposit less than 1 year, this is the formula. For time deposit 1 year or longer, this is the formula. So what these all imply is that it is actually possible that your refunded time deposit amount can be less than the original deposit. So please consider if you can afford your deposit tied up for a committed time frame. Again, as I've advised earlier, we would not suggest or we would not advise for your emergency funds to be put in this kind of product. So now that we've discussed the different accounts or the different products of Tonik, the Tonik account, the solo stash, group stash, time deposit, you might ask, should I choose to open a time deposit or a stash? So to help you further analyze, here is the breakdown of interest rates for Tonik account versus solo stash versus group stash and versus time deposit. By the way, this is uploaded in Tonik's website if you want to have a closer look. So all of these interest rates are mentioned earlier. So for Tonik account, that's 1%. For solo stash, that's 4%. For group stash, that's 4%. But if there are 3 participants within the group stash, you will earn 4.5%. That's additional 0.5%. And for time deposit, depending on the term, so for 6 months, that's 6%, 9 months, 4.5%, 12 months, 4.75%, 18 months, 5%, 24 months, 5.25%. So the answer to the question what account you should be opening or what products you should be availing within Tonik, the answer is really all up to you. What is your purpose for opening the account? You may want to look at it as a stash is a high yield savings account, which is at 4% for solo stash and 4.5% for group stash with 3 participants. And time deposit is an investment account where if you open a time deposit, you agree to keep the money for a certain time period to get a higher return. Also, if you notice for time deposit, in theory, the longer the period, the higher the interest percentage is. We actually think the 6-month period is just a promotional interest rate to attract new users since Tonik is a new player to the digital bank market here in the Philippines. So if you have extra funds that you want to earn high interest with, Tonik's 6-month time deposit and group stash with 4.5% interest may also be for you. Another thing that we usually highlight and ask our viewers to review prior to creating a digital bank account is the fees and charges. Currently, most of the deposit and withdrawal channels are free and waived, but just like any other digital banks, these may be subject to changes in the future. So always make sure to visit the fees and charges page of Tonik's for reference. So to wrap up our review for Tonik, we think that this bank has really good potential with relatively high interest as much as 6%. And it also offers relatively fresh features like the group stash and the time deposit, which I believe other digital banks currently do not offer. Specifically, the solo stash at 4% interest at this time and situation is good, but having 2 other people join you in your savings journey with a group stash will add another 0.5% to your interest. That's a really great deal. By the way, the charge for Tonik to Tonik transfer is free, so that's another good news for you to have more friends on Tonik. The app itself is very aesthetic and straightforward. We noticed that the wordings and graphics used are very creative and cute, which I think many young adults ages 18 and above could be attracted to, which is actually good because we need to start having this practice to start saving when you are young. So I think this is a thumbs up for this bank. But to be honest, I'm currently experiencing slow app response. It may be because it's still new and they just went live recently. So we do hope they can further improve their app's response time. And of course, for the users to have a little more patience at this time when using it. Finally, we do appreciate how informative the website of this digital bank is. I mean, it probably should be the bare minimum as it is a fully digital bank, but I really found the frequently asked questions or FAQs in their website really informative and helpful. They also included their future products to look out for, like the bill payments, physical debit cards. So if you have any questions, make sure to head out to their website and read up the FAQs. They're really informative and it will greatly help you before and after having the app on your phone. So that's it for our review. Thank you for watching our video. If you have any comments, let us know in the comment box down below. Have a great day. Bye.